Let me ask you straight. Are you tired of lying awake in the dark, hour after hour, night after night, watching time crawl across your ceiling? Are you tired of listening to advice that sounds like it was written for children, not for people like us who have spent decades pushing through real life? Because if you're still tossing and turning after all the calming music, the lavender oils, and the gentle bedtime teas, then you're not looking for comfort anymore. You're looking for truth. And truth doesn't whisper. It wakes you up. I've worked with hundreds of people just like you. People who've spent years trapped in cycles of exhaustion, anxiety, and frustration. People who've been misled, coddled, or worse, ignored. And I'm here to say what most won't. If you're still not sleeping, there's a reason. And no, it's not just age. It's not just hormones. It's not just stress. It's because you've been given strategies that don't go deep enough. Not surgical enough. Not bold enough to break through the layers of bad habits, faulty thinking, and half-truths you've been sold. Now listen, if your sleep is shallow, scattered, or absent altogether, it's not just inconvenient. It's dangerous. Your body heals when you sleep. Your brain resets. Your immune system recalibrates. Miss enough good sleep, and your blood pressure rises, your memory frays, your judgment slips. You become more vulnerable to diabetes, depression, even dementia. This isn't about comfort anymore. This is about survival. So stop hoping sleep will come find you like a lost puppy. You need to go out and hunt it down. Let's start where most people get it wrong, your bedroom. Most people turn their bedrooms into war zones. Cluttered, overheated, full of light and noise and distractions. I once worked with a woman in her 70s who couldn't sleep for more than 3 hours at a time. Her bedroom? A soft pink glow from the salt lamp, a TV flickering all night with the volume low, and a smartphone charging right beside her pillow. She thought she was creating a relaxing atmosphere. What she was really doing was programming her brain to stay alert. Light, even soft light, tells your brain it's daytime. Screens keep your nervous system on edge. Noise, even background noise, prevents deep sleep. I had her unplug everything. Total blackout curtains. No phones. No TV. Room cooled to 65 degrees. First night, she slept 5 hours straight. First time in a decade. 2 weeks later, she was sleeping through the night. You want better sleep? Your bedroom has to become a sleep temple. Cold, dark, silent, and boring. Anything less, and your brain refuses to shut off. But let's go deeper. Some of you are trapped in the worst cycle of all, inconsistent sleep schedules. You sleep at midnight one night, 10 p.m. the next. You wake up at 6, then at 9, then at 3 a.m. Your body has no idea when to rest. It's like trying to grow a tree that keeps getting ripped out and replanted every week. I had a former firefighter, tough as nails, but by the time he was 68, he couldn't fall asleep without alcohol. His sleep window was all over the place. I made one change, set the same wake-up time every single day. No exceptions, even weekends, even holidays. At first, it was brutal, but after 3 weeks, his body clicked into rhythm. He started falling asleep at the same time every night, without trying. Why? Because the human body loves rhythm. Circadian rhythm isn't some poetic idea. It's a biological metronome that controls your energy, hormones, digestion, even your mood. Ignore it, and you're in chaos. Respect it, and your brain will reward you with the one thing you crave most: real, restoring sleep. Here's another truth you're not hearing enough. Most people treat bedtime like a casual suggestion. They wander into sleep the way you'd wander into a fog. But sleep isn't passive. It's not a switch you flip. It's a process you build. I call it the descent. Every night, you need a ritual, a sequence of events that slowly pulls you out of the world and drops you into sleep. Not something you do once in a while. Every night. I had a retired teacher, intelligent, disciplined, but stuck in a cycle of late nights scrolling and shallow naps. We created a ritual. 2 hours before bed, she turned off every screen. No phone, no laptop, no news. Then a warm shower. A low-light room. Journaling, 3 sentences only. Gratitude, not rumination. Finally, a breathing practice. 5 minutes, nothing complicated. 3 weeks in, her nightmares vanished. She stopped waking up in panic. That's not magic. That's habit. Rituals calm the limbic system, the part of your brain that runs from tigers and replays every regret you've ever had. You can't lecture your brain into peace. You have to show it. Every night. And while we're talking about bedtime routines, let's talk about what's destroying yours: sugar, alcohol, and late-night snacking. If you're eating cookies at 10 p.m., don't ask me why you're wide awake at 3 a.m. Your blood sugar crashes, cortisol spikes, and suddenly your body thinks it's time to run. One client of mine, a 74-year-old widow, told me she couldn't fall asleep without her nightly treat, a glass of wine and a small chocolate bar. She thought it was harmless. She thought it was comfort. But that comfort came at a cost: fragmented sleep, restless legs, 3 a.m. anxiety. We replaced the wine with tart cherry juice and the chocolate with a magnesium-rich almond butter snack earlier in the evening. Within days, her nighttime panic disappeared. Don't let your cravings sabotage your sleep. What you eat, and when you eat, tells your body what time it is. Give it the wrong signal, and it will stay on high alert all night. You still with me? Good. Because the next piece is where most people give up. What happens when you wake up in the middle of the night? This is the moment where panic creeps in. The clock says 2:13 a.m., and your brain whispers, "You're awake again. You'll never get back to sleep." And now you're spiraling. I've seen this hundreds of times. So let me be crystal clear. Waking up in the middle of the night is normal. What's not normal is the way you respond. You reach for your phone. You check the time. You sit in that dark silence, bracing for insomnia. You train your brain to fear the night. I had a man in his late 60s who told me he hadn't slept more than 4 hours in years because every time he woke up, he spiraled. I gave him one rule: don't check the clock. Don't pick up your phone. Just lie there and breathe. If you're still awake after 20 minutes, get up. Low light. Quiet. Read a real book. No screens. No food. Just ease. Within 2 weeks, his wake-ups became shorter. Then rarer. Then gone. Middle of the night awakenings don't have to own you, but you have to break the habit of panic. And now we come to a part most people never even consider. Dreaming. Yes, dreaming. REM sleep isn't just about visions and stories. It's a neurological necessity. Your brain processes emotion, solidifies memory, clears mental clutter during REM. If you're never dreaming, or you never remember your dreams, it might mean you're not getting enough deep sleep. That's not just a poetic problem. It's a medical one. I once worked with a woman who hadn't remembered a dream in 10 years. She thought it was just aging. Turned out her REM sleep was being disrupted by low-grade anxiety and inconsistent sleep windows. We fixed the schedule, added basic mindfulness practice before bed, not the trendy kind, the real kind. And 2 weeks later, she woke up in tears after remembering a dream about her late husband. Not just sleep. Connection. Healing. You miss that, and your emotional recovery stays incomplete night after night. That's where we'll pick up next. The deeper cost of broken sleep. What it does to your identity, your strength, your grip on the world. Because once your sleep breaks down, your identity does too. You stop recognizing yourself. You forget simple things. You lose your edge. I've seen people who used to lead companies, raise families, build entire lives, and now they're confused by their own calendars, losing their car keys 3 times a day, feeling like strangers in their own skin. And the worst part? They blame themselves. They think it's just getting older. It's not. It's sleep debt. Years of shallow sleep will strip your confidence, your ability to cope, your ability to feel joy. And if you don't stop it now, it doesn't just level off. It accelerates. I had a man come to me at 72, ex-military, disciplined, sharp, or used to be. Now he was snapping at people he loved, couldn't remember names, felt like he was falling apart. He thought it was early dementia, but no, he was getting less than 90 minutes of deep sleep per night. You can't survive on that. Not mentally, not emotionally. We rebuilt his sleep schedule like you'd rebuild a wrecked body. Strict sleep window. 0 screens after 7 p.m. Caffeine cut off at 10 a.m. And something else. Purpose. I asked him what he was waking up for. He said, "Nothing." I said, "That's why you're not sleeping. Your brain's forgotten what it's resting for." So we created a goal. Small, but sharp. He started writing letters to his grandchildren. Handwritten. 1 a week. Suddenly, his mornings had structure. His nights started to calm. 3 months later, his memory returned. His fuse got longer. He felt like himself again. You think sleep is just about rest? It's not. It's about restoration. Without it, everything collapses. But let's talk about what happens when you've tried everything and still feel stuck. Because some of you listening have already changed your routines. You've already followed the rules. And yet, the sleep still doesn't come. That's when I ask a harder question. What are you afraid of in the silence? What are you running from when the lights go out? For some people, insomnia isn't just physical. It's psychological. They fear stillness because stillness brings up grief, regret, things left unsaid. I once worked with a woman in her 60s who hadn't slept through the night since her husband died 7 years earlier. She was exhausted, but also terrified. She admitted something few people will. I'm afraid to sleep because I dream of him. And then I wake up and remember he's gone. That kind of pain builds a wall around your mind. Sleep becomes a battlefield. So we didn't start with sleep. We started with grief. She wrote him letters, read them out loud, cried every night for a week. And slowly, her sleep softened. Dreams still came, but they no longer broke her. They held her. Sometimes, to fix your sleep, you have to fix the wound beneath it. Others avoid sleep because they fear death. Sounds dramatic, I know, but I've heard it more times than I can count. When I lie down, I feel like I'm fading. That fear turns bedtime into a panic ritual. You overthink. You breathe fast. Your heart races. And you stay alert because your brain thinks it's under threat. I had to teach one man, 70 years old, retired engineer, how to die a little each night, without fear. That's right. Every night, he practiced letting go. Not fighting. Not controlling. Just accepting the drift. We used body scans. Deep exhalations. Not to relax, but to train surrender. That's the word. Surrender. Some of you are exhausted because you're fighting what should be natural. Sleep isn't conquered. It's allowed. Now let's be blunt. Some of you are medicating your way to unconsciousness. Over-the-counter sleep aids, Benadryl, even prescription sedatives. You knock yourself out and think you've won. But you haven't slept. You've been sedated. That's not sleep. It's interruption of consciousness without recovery. One woman I met had been on sleeping pills for 12 years. Every night, like clockwork. She swore it helped her. Until one day, she forgot how to get home from the grocery store. The pills were eating her memory, fragmenting her REM cycles. I helped her taper off, carefully, with her doctor. We replaced the pills with structured routine, cognitive therapy, and yes, discomfort. Because coming off sleep meds feels like walking through a storm. But once you're through it, you come out clean. She did. And for the first time in over a decade, she felt rested. You want real sleep? Burn the crutch. Build the muscle. And don't even get me started on the myth of catching up on weekends. That's not how your brain works. You can't starve all week and then binge on sleep and expect recovery. That pattern wrecks your internal clock, creates a perpetual state of jet lag. You need consistency, not intensity. You wouldn't water a plant once a week with a fire hose and expect it to grow. Your brain needs rhythm. Predictability. That's where restoration lives. One more thing. If you're using your bed for anything other than sleep or sex, you're training your body to stay awake in the very place it's supposed to shut down. Watching TV? Scrolling your phone? Having long phone calls from under the covers? You're wiring your nervous system to associate that mattress with stimulation. I had a man in his late 60s who treated his bed like a lounge chair. He'd read, eat, scroll, even pay bills from under the blanket. Couldn't figure out why his sleep was garbage. I told him, bed equals sleep or intimacy. That's it. No exceptions. 3 weeks after changing that rule, his insomnia dropped by half. And now we reach something most people never even think about, waking up. Most people drag themselves out of bed like zombies. Snooze the alarm, shuffle to the kitchen, down caffeine like it's medicine. That groggy start destroys the momentum of your circadian rhythm. You want to sleep better? Start better. I tell my clients this. The first 10 minutes after you wake up are sacred. Get light in your eyes. Real light. Open the blinds. Step outside. Tell your brain, it's day. That triggers the natural suppression of melatonin and the rise of cortisol, the good kind. It tells your whole system to align with time. And if you do that every day, your body starts to sleep better not just because of what you do at night, but because of what you do in the morning. So now I ask you again, are you really ready to sleep? Because if you are, then you need to act like it. No more waiting for sleep to come like a breeze. No more hoping the night goes easy on you. You want sleep? You earn it. You fight for it, not by battling your mind, but by facing your life. What you eat, what you think, what you fear, what you run from, it's all in your sleep. Every second of your day is either building toward rest or tearing it down. You don't need another tip. You need a transformation. And that starts now. Decide who you want to be tomorrow and build tonight around that. Don't negotiate with exhaustion. Don't settle for restlessness. Claim your right to sleep like it matters. Because it does. It always has. And if anything in this hit home, if it shook you even a little, then say something. Leave a comment. Share your story. Don't go back into silence. Let someone know they're not alone in this war. Because there are thousands of people right now, just like you, who've been told to accept insomnia as a fact of aging. But you know better now, and so do they. So speak. Like this video if it lit a fire in you. Share it if you know someone who's been trapped in this cycle for too long. And subscribe if you're ready for more, not comfort, but clarity. Because sleep isn't just what happens in the dark. It's what powers your whole life in the light.